What's up, everyone? Today we're on the road and I'm going to be working on this iPhone 6s for a customer. It's pretty messed up, as you can see. Pretty messed up around the home button area as well. So we're going to be taking care of this for them right here in our vehicle. This is a very simple setup. We just have a silicone mat, a plastic tray that hooks up to the steering wheel, and our tools. All right, for tools, it's pretty straightforward. We have a P2 screwdriver for the pentalobe screws over here. We have a Phillips screwdriver as well. This pick right here, so that way we can disconnect certain things. And then also this, so we can get in between the screen and the frame, if needed. So I want to talk about some issues that you may encounter in the field. Issue number one, a client hands you a phone that's not charged. How the heck am I supposed to test this out if the phone is dead? Always carry a charger so you can charge it. But I always recommend telling all your customers to charge the devices prior to you coming. At least 20% battery. That's all you really need. You just need just a few minutes to test some stuff out. But if the phone is dead, then you're out of luck. Even with the charger in the car, like, it might charge too slow for you to even get a good charge. And the last thing you want to do is be sitting in the car waiting 15-20 minutes extra waiting for this to turn on. That's issue number one. And I wanted to point that out so that way in the field, when you guys are in the field, you guys can see some issues that can come up and you can plan for it. Number two, so I took out one of the screws, all right? But guess what? This one is stripped completely. I cannot take that out. So the only way you're gonna be able to open this is if you literally, there's two little clips inside of here, is if you literally break that clip. This could be a very common issue. One, because your tool can be not good, or simply it was already stripped by somebody else, or you stripped it. Well, it can happen. And you need to be prepared for that, because if you can't open this phone, then how are you going to repair it? I've heard people tell me that they went to a place where they stripped the screws, and they literally returned the phone to her and said, we can't fix it because the screws are stripped. That's crazy. But there is a way, and if you guys want to see that way, definitely comment below. And I will put in another video how I handle stripped screws. All right, so I handled the screw situation. So the iPhone 6 is open up like this instead of the other way around, like a book for the other models. So we're gonna be removing this plate right here. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4 screws, and then we're gonna be removing these 2 screws right here in this plate first. Though this one's gonna go first. This one's for the battery, so we want to disconnect that so we don't cause any circuit damage around the board. We're going to be cleaning this old adhesive here, and then we're going to be installing the new adhesive so that way the new screen sits perfectly good. So let's get that done. Use these little pieces here, these little slits over here, to stay organized with your screws. That way you don't, get confused and you remember where everything goes. See right here, use all this for organization. I've done it so many times, I just organize it my own way. But if you're starting, I would definitely recommend using these things to get yourself organized. Okay, so I got all the screws out and organized. You see how they're all matching the plates? That way I know exactly where they go. I went and I disconnected the battery right here. All right. Super important that you do that first before you do the screen and everything else. This applies to every single iPhone. I know this is an older iPhone, but you're going to do the same thing for every single iPhone that you touch. From all the way down from the 6s to all the way up to the 11s, the 12s, and the 13s if we ever get there. Well, of course we're going to get there, but you get what I'm saying. All right, perfect. Now, when you're removing these connectors, be super, super, super careful to not damage these, because if you do, your stuff is not going to work. Your phone's going to start boot looping. It's going to start going on and off and stuff like that, or overheating, and you definitely don't want to deal with that. This right here was a replacement. This was done. This is definitely not the original battery, but yeah. But anyways, yeah, definitely be very careful with all these connections, because you don't want to screw yourself over. All right, usually I like to start with cleaning out all this old black adhesive before I do anything else. And then we're going to do is switch over to the screen, where we're going to remove the earpiece and sensors. And we're also going to remove the home button and transfer all that to the new screen. What I want to add here is that this part is actually very important, and a lot of techs out there are very lazy and would not remove it. I highly recommend you guys remove this because one, it's old and it doesn't stick as well when you put the new screen. But two, because you pull the screen, it doesn't sit correctly. So what it does is that can create little lumps and inconsistencies around the border. So what could happen is that the customer can crack the screen much easier because there's literally lumps and stuff like that. So it's not an even surface. So putting pressure there could ultimately over time damage the phone. Sounds wild and sounds like it won't happen that often, but you'd be surprised. So I highly recommend you just clean this up, take a few extra minutes, and then install the new one. So sometimes when you buy the new screens, they'll already come with the new adhesive. If it does not come included, you can definitely purchase these separately, whether it's on the same supplier you bought it from, or you can buy it off a different supplier. It doesn't matter, it's gonna be the same. So I definitely just recommend you guys just keep this in mind. And I know it might be a little annoying to install it at the beginning, but it does get better over time. Do not skip out on this step. I know that you're trying to get as many repairs done as possible so you can make more money, but quality of work will speak for itself over time, and that I can guarantee you. Don't skip out on these little steps, and then you'll see that the rate of return of warranties are going to be way less. Dealing with warranties suck. Why? Because you're pretty much doing the work twice, but with no pay. And the reason why we do this is because we want to guarantee good work for our customers. And then if we're half-assing the process, then we're going to be doing double the work. So do it right the first time. Don't be lazy. Okay, so now we have both screens here. This is the old one. This is the new one. This is backwards. So now we have to transfer these components over here. And we're going to be transferring the home button over here. Now, when you buy these screens, sometimes you see there's a metal plate right here. Sometimes the new screens do not come included with this. So if it does not come included, you're gonna have to transfer this metal plate over to this side. If it does, then don't even worry about it. Now, if you notice that there's any little screws missing, make sure you use the old screws to replace the new screws. But typically they come already good to go. All right, everything was transferred over. Perfect. Now, if you ever see a film like this on the back of your screen, remove it. You have to remove it. Okay, guys. Rookie mistake. I've opened up phones with screens still having the film. Remove that and you'll be good, because that can produce and cause damage. Little tip for beginners. There are screens that come with this already pre-installed, a brand new earpiece and sensor. So if you suck at this part and you're realizing that you're taking way too long to get this part done, you can actually order the screen with this stuff already installed, and then that only leaves you to change the home button. But I think even then, sometimes they even bring the home button as well, because it doesn't have finger ID. So if you suck at doing these two things, because it's probably the most annoying part at the beginning, order it with it. Yes, it will cost you a little bit more and it will cut into your profits just a few bucks, but it'll save you so much time and you could do more repairs. So as you get better, as you get more skilled, you start ordering them without this so you can pocket those extra dollars. Okay, guys? So that's a little tip right there for beginners, so that way you don't get so hung up on this piece right there. Second pro tip, keep the original screens. Do not trash them. Some suppliers, there are people out there who buy broken screens, and some suppliers even offer you credit towards buying new parts if you give them old broken screens. Do not throw these away. It does have some value. Okay, so the screen is ready. Now it's time to install the water seal. So we're gonna do that right now. Perfect, the new seal is on. Now it's time to install the new screen. Little pro tip, you can use the box as a little stand, so that way you can start putting the screws back in place so they can hold the screen up, and that'll just give you a little bit of leeway. Over time you'll be able to just hold both with one hand and then just do the screws with the other, but this is just a little trick that you can use when you just need a little bit of support. Okay, everything's back together, nothing's missing. Now we're gonna put the screen back on and we're pretty much done with this repair. Awesome. Very simple repair, guys. Nothing complicated. Just a few tools, a little bit of patience, and you're good to go. I usually keep the little plastic film on top so the customer can remove it, and so they can feel that brand new screen feel. But yeah, so this is all you got to do. Don't overcomplicate it. You got this. All right, guys, so that is it for the simple ride along for iPhone repairs that are mobile. Even though this is an older iPhone, this is an iPhone 6s, it still applies across the board. The only thing that changes is that for the iPhones 8 and up, you need a programmer for that, and it's just an extra step that you got to take. You connect the old screen to the programmer, you press one button, it does the work for you in like 5 seconds. You unplug it, you connect the new screen, you press another button, it does the work for you for 5 seconds, and that's it. That is the only extra step that you have when it comes to these newer iPhones. So that's only to maintain the True Tone features. I highly recommend you look into it and you get a programmer, because that is the best way to ensure you do a proper repair. There are a lot of shops out there that do not do that, and I don't understand why you would do that to your customer, unless you're telling them, hey, listen, you're gonna lose True Tone, and if they're okay with that, you were transparent, that's awesome. But if you really want to do a proper repair, you want to say, hey, we're gonna reprogram your screen so your True Tone features are there. You paid a lot of money for this phone, we don't want you to lose features. Boom, done. 90% of the time, they don't even know what that is, but they will be grateful to hear that you're being very professional. So keep that in mind. Another pro tip, and I highly recommend this part, is be presentable. Right now I'm wearing my Mars Laboratory shirt. On the back I have company information like phone number and Instagram account. Be very tidy, you know, try to be really well shaven, really well groomed. Wear good pants, wear good shoes, speak proper. You want to be as presentable as possible so you can raise the value, the perceived value of you and your company, okay? If you're going around in shorts, if you're walking around in Crocs, if you're walking around in like a random Corona or Heineken shirt, or if you're in any way not being presentable, you're always going to be that guy or that girl who fixes phones. You don't want to be referred to that guy or that girl that fixes phones. You want it to be seen as a company, a group of people. Even if you're alone, you want to be appeared as a legit company that is fixing their phone. So when they refer people, it's not, oh, I know a guy. No, you don't want that. You want, oh, I know a company that does this. They do a really good job, and they do mobile repairs. So focus also while you do this is increasing the perceived value of your business, because if you just do things that take away from that value, people are just going to be like, oh, you're just another guy that does phones. You're a random guy that does phones, or a random girl that does phones. And that's just going to take away from the value. And then that's when they feel that way, I promise you, you're going to notice the difference. When they feel that way, that's when you start getting people asking for lower pricing. You're going to get people asking for discounts. You're going to be people, they're going to try to haggle you. And you don't want that. That's something that you don't want to deal with. Now, when you start wearing a uniform and you start increasing the perceived value of your business, and you have a web page and you have everything set up, when I did that, and when I started talking as we do this, or this is what we charge, and instead of what I charge, I noticed that people stopped haggling with me. People stopped haggling, and now I didn't have to worry about sitting there for 10-15 minutes wasting time listening to them tell me, oh, can you charge me less? Can I take $20 off? You're too expensive. Why this and that? No. So I stopped listening to that, and basically, as I created my appointment system, whenever they wanted to book their appointment, they just pay in advance, and that's it. That's the price. No haggling, no nothing. It really, really does change everything when it's written somewhere. Like, if you're giving them a link so they can pay, it's written. That's it. There's no discount. There's no nothing. And they need to understand that, hey, you know, your time is valuable. If their employee went and asked them for a discount on how much they're paying them per hour, they wouldn't be happy about it, but they're not thinking that way when it comes down to your pay. So know your worth, raise your perceived value of your business, and you'll notice that things are going to get better. Always carry business cards as well. Hand 3, 4, 5 to each customer, because they will share it. This is all I got for you guys. A little ride along, a little bit of venting, but I think these little tips will definitely help you guys just overall do better, especially when you're starting out. When you're starting out, you don't know what to expect. You don't know what you're supposed to be doing. There's just a lot of things to keep in mind. But I hope that this little ride along where I saw some issues, pointed it out, and then just little things to keep in mind when you're going through these repairs, so that way when that issue presents itself, you're just not overwhelmed. But take care, guys. Like and subscribe. Please ask any questions you have down below. I will be also linking down below in the description my new Discord channel. This is where a lot of techs will come together and work together to solve their problems. So let's say I'm having an issue with this repair right now. What I can do is I can go into the Discord channel and just ask questions. Hey guys, I have a strip screw. I don't know what to do. I don't know how to take this card out, this screw out. Help me out. And then they'll give you tips. So then somebody on there will be like, oh, no problem. This is how I handled the situation. And then boom, problem solved. Now, yes, it's good to learn on your own, but sometimes you don't have the time. You don't have the luxury. Your customer's waiting. It's good to have a source of people that you can ask questions to, even about marketing, about business, tools. You'll be able to go on there and say, hey, what are some marketing ways you guys are trying that I can try? And then like maybe I'll go in there and say, oh, try this out, see if it works in your area. And then you can go and try it out and see if you make more money. But join the Discord channel below. Don't regret it. Right now we have over 20 members that are all over the US. I think some might even be out of the US as well. But hey, everyone's welcome. Tech, phones and tech, they all work just the same. Doesn't matter where you are in the world. So join down below. And I'll see you guys there. Say hi, okay? Just come say hi, but also like and subscribe.